Coach Ron Planz is the head football coach and offense coordinator there at Lake Zurich High School in Illinois. Coach is going to talk zone in his duo run game. No you coach, but the floor is yours. So, I don't need to chit chat. Like I said, I'm gonna let you get going, Coach.
Perfect. No, I appreciate it. And, appreciate you working through technical difficulties and making sure we can talk some ball today. Football. So just real quick, Lake Zurich High School is a 6A program, borderline 6A, 7A, depending on the year. We've been 6A the last couple years. And in Illinois, the bigger the number, the bigger the school. And we go all the way up to 8. And our conference is made up of 8A and 7A schools, and we're a 6A program. So we're a little bit smaller compared to the teams in our conference, but we've battled pretty well. So if anybody's got questions, feel free to jump in and ask, or wait till the end. It's completely up to you. Usually when I talk about this, I go through kind of how we teach our run game conceptually, how we out. I can go over that stuff with you as well. So I'm one of those guys who does not believe that zone and duo are the same play, and so either I'm going to convert you to that thought or send you away, I guess, if you don't agree with how I'm doing it. And I'll explain why to us they're two separate plays, and that might make more sense to some people. So let's just talk zone in general, right? You want to organize, I think anytime you want to organize your run game, pass game, formations into families, so to speak, right? So that you can teach same as stuff to your quarterbacks, your tailbacks, your linemen especially, whoever you need. So kind of on the screen here, you've got all the different types. And what we do is we kind of make a checklist of the blocks we need to teach, plays we want to run. For the offensive line in this scenario, it'd be just the reach block, and then the tight end has to worry about some of those other blocks as he goes on. Okay, so when we get into zone, the big question is, do you teach combos or do you not teach combos? And I think this is where people get into the debate on whether or not the duo run play and zone are the same, especially if you're a heavy inside zone combo team. And combo has its advantages, right? It takes care of the D-line first and foremost, especially if you're playing a team that likes to get upfield or is penetrating to cutbacks for your running back. It also gives the guy that's on the backside of the zone and he's trying to reach somebody, gives him more time to get there because that front side guy is kind of holding them up as you work that combo. With that being said, there are some disadvantages also to comboing, right? Depending on what front you get, can change who's comboing with who. That takes quite a bit of communication. If a team is a heavy stunt or slanting defense, that can cause problems on your combos. O-linemen sometimes have a combo behind them, right? So they've got to work backwards instead of forwards in the zone scheme. And if you get a team that likes to blitz linebackers or really, really good at reading, you can get some linebacker run-throughs that are really hard to stop. So what we do is we full zone. Backside guy might get a little bit of help, but he's not ever counting on that. And some of the advantages we think of full zoning it is the rules never change, right? They always know where they're going. And they don't have to worry about, are they comboing, are they by themselves, or they just know where they're going. It's much, much easier to pick up stunts and slants. And I would argue at the high school level, you get a lot more blitzing backers, A-gap guys especially, slanting defensive linemen. So this definitely is easier to pick up as a full zone. It keeps all the old linemen going in the right direction. Nobody's going backwards. Nobody's eyes get off their where they're supposed to be working. And it's much, much easier to pick up linebacker run-throughs. Now, there are some disadvantages. Our zone's not going to be a very good play because we're one-on-one blocks. We're not getting any help to that guy. We definitely don't get much of a vertical push. We get more of a horizontal push with this, which means the running back has to be way more patient because if you're not getting any push vertically, right? The running back's going to get to that offensive line quicker because they're all moving horizontally. There's no vertical displacement. So he has to be much slower, much more patient to figure out where his cuts or cut backs all the way out the back door is going to happen and where it's going to hit. So let me talk about how we teach our reach block. And essentially, it's pretty simple. The job is to push them with their momentum that they're using to fight our reach, is just to turn and push them horizontally and create the cutback that way. Some of you guys that are big into zone probably use covered and uncovered rules that helped determine your combos and whatnot. We still use those. Now, we don't call them covered or uncovered. We actually use the term open and closed. And we switched to that because covered and uncovered was kind of confusing to our guys. Example being, as a coach, I might say, hey, you got a guy covering you up here, but that doesn't mean that you're covered for the play we're running. Right? It can mean you're uncovered because based on his, but he's on you, but not on you. And it was just really confusing. And I thought I had a picture of that there, but I don't. So essentially, they don't have somebody on their play side shoulder. There isn't somebody on the guy next to them's play side shoulder. So there's nobody immediately in that gap. And there's also nobody head up to their guy next to them in the direction we're going. Those are the three things that would close their gap. If none of those are true, then their gap is open. With an open gap, they're going to step, punch, right? So they're going to step in the direction that we call. So we call it to the right. They're going to step to the right. They're going to punch with their left. If they punch with their left, if there's somebody there to punch, great. If there's not, then there's no punch. Then they're going to clear. And what clear means is they're going to clear any kind of backer, slanting defensive lineman, anybody that might be trying to come into their gap that was open. If nothing shows, then they're going to climb up to the second level and reach block who's ever responsible for that gap that they're working to. If their gap is closed, it's simple. They're just going to work to reach that guy immediately. We're going to go, so be the only one that's different. We are a zone read team, so he doesn't have to hold up or slow down that backside defensive end at all. So he's just going to go, clear, climb. He doesn't have to stitch with that because we want to get a good read for the quarterback. Now, if you're not a zone read team, but you still zone, you can step and punch that backside guy to slow him down to give your tailback a little bit more responsibility or a little more time to get to his responsibilities. But if you are a zone read team, there's no reason to step and punch a guy to the backside of that tackle. For our tight ends, right? Our tight ends have to know which zone we're calling, right? And we use different names for all of our zones. So to the offensive line, is zone blocking. And the reason we use different words is so that the tight end knows what he's supposed to do. So lead zone, he's working just like an offensive lineman. He's going through the same thing. He's got a gap open, he's stepping and punching, clearing for anything coming, then climbing to reach block the gap threatening defender. If his gap is closed, then he's working to reach it immediately. Arc zone, meaning he's going to arc out on the backside. He's just going to arc out, leave that C-gap defender alone, work to a backside D-gap defender. No different than if we were running the zone bypass. He's just coming from the other side, making it look like he's coming swiping to kick out the DN, but really bypassing and going up to that D-gap defender. You've got the swipe zone, and then the zone where he's on the backside of everything. He would be just like a backside tackle. So all those words, what does that mean? Okay, here's the picture. And I think this would make it much easier to put those words into thoughts in your head. So we're going zone to the left, let's say. So our tackle here, he's looking to his play side gap. Is it open or closed? It's closed. I have an immediate threat to my gap. So I'm going to open, is it closed? His gap is open. He doesn't have a guy on his inside shoulder, and he doesn't have a guy head up on his butt. So he's open. So he's going to step, punch. This would be punching if he could. Clear, this guy stunting or this backer blitzing or one of those types of things, and then climb up to the guy that has his gap, which would be his backer. For the center, he is definitely closed. There's a guy on his in his play side gap, so he's going to reach him right away. Backside guard, He is open, right? There's nobody head up to his buddy. There's nobody on his buddy's inside shoulder or the shoulder closest to him, and there's nobody on his shoulder, nobody in his gap. So he's going to step, punch, clear slants from either side, and then climb. Tackle is closed. He's got a guy on his buddy's shoulder there, so he's got to go reach that guy. And the tight end has a closed gap in this case if we're running zone to the left, so he's going to reach that guy right away. I do not argue with you. I don't think it's outside zone because of our aiming point. And our aiming point inside leg of the play side guard. That's where we're aiming. And what we're looking for is this gap first. We would love to just take the ball, we get a reach, we get a climb, right? We get a reach and hit that thing right on through the B gap. If that B gap is open for our tailbacks, we call that a take it. If it's open, take it. If it's not, let's say backer fills, this guy stunts over, this guy stunts in, whatever reason, not open. He's going to try and put his foot in the ground and get through his second running area, which is the A gap. So that would be stick. He's going to stick it and get vertical. After he sticks it, if that's closed, stick it, cut it. And the quarterback is reading that C gap defender here. If we're running some kind of split zone, whether it's a follow zone or the swipe zone, then we are reading the D gap defender or the near safety. That gives us the opportunity to add RPOs and different things to the call anytime we are blocking the backside C gap defender. We can RPO off of that. All right, let's get to some film here, unless anybody's got questions. All right. So, right away, jump out the gate. Great example of why I like to full zone it and not combo. Initially, it looks great, right? we can say, all right, hey, we can combo here, right, up to this guy. We can combo here, up to this guy. We're kind of combo here, out to this guy. It looks awesome. Okay? But then, right here, they all of a sudden became covered. So that's going to be an immediate reach. Now, here's the thing. How many reaches do we actually win here? All right, we'll start front side. Don't really reach with the tackle. That guy maintains his leverage. The blitzing backer 33, we definitely don't reach him. The center kind of gets a little bit of a reach. The backside blitzer, we definitely don't reach that guy. Okay? And the backside tackle doesn't get his reach. So here we are running zone, and we don't reach really anybody. You could make an argument the center does. But what we do is we still displace these guys. We displace these guys horizontally really, really well. So for the tailback perspective, B-gap, don't have it. What's not good about this is the quarterback. The quarterback is supposed to attack that outside defender that's responsible for him. The tailback does a good job of making one guy miss in the hole, which you hope your tailback can do. Gain out of it. So what I like about the full zone is even though we don't reach anybody, we still have a play. Okay? Now, you can also add tags and things to it. So this is a trade tag for us, which is essentially bash. So we are running zone 2 as we look at the screen to the right here. But the quarterback is the zone runner, and the tailback is not. So he's reading that backside C-gap defender. Offensive line is just blocking zone. They don't care what's going on in the backfield. But all the same rules apply. So let's see how we do here with the reaches. Okay, anybody there? There is nobody outside of him that's threatening him. So he doesn't have anybody to work for, so he's working up vertical. We do reach that defensive end with that tackle, so we get a reach there. The guard will be working more up to that linebacker. He's a little too flat, but he's trying to clear that. Ends up kind of running into it. Center doesn't really reach his guy, but gets a great horizontal displacement. Backside guard's working up. He does reach, and there's the hook, and then that's where the quarterback fits through. And then it's one-on-one with a safety. which is, again, if you make that guy miss, great. If not, the safety's tackling you for 8 to 10 yard gain. All right, here's a follow zone. Okay, so we're running zone. So he's going to step, which is great. Doesn't really get a punch because of the stunt happening on the backside. But see how slow he is to go? He's clearing, climbing. Love it. That's great patience by him. There's no reason for him to run up there, especially if defensive lineman tries to cross 64's face. Okay, backside, 60. He's covered. He's going to reach that guy. That guy wants nothing to do with it. He's running a stunt. Well, guess what? Now he is no longer covered. His gap is no longer open. Or his gap is no longer closed. It is now open. So he goes to the next level. 75 is working hard to get to that next level, but their defensive end is trying to close his gap. So he does. We got to hook him and reach. And the tailback, just following his rules. Even though we're out of pistol, it's the same thing. There's another follow zone. We're going to run away from the tight end. So let's see how many reach blocks we get here. Okay, don't really get one on the play side tackle, 71 there. Now that guy, he's deemed as a threat. They were blitzing him quite a bit during the game, so he's going out to try and reach him now. The guard doesn't really get reach. Center, he doesn't really get a reach. Backside guard gets a nice little punch as he's working to clear, and he's up to the backer. He doesn't really get a reach. The backside tackle doesn't get a reach. The only guy who gets a reach is the tight end, and that's all we need. One guy, there's the cut. So even if he's patient and can see it well, you're going to get an opportunity somewhere. Unless the ref stops you like on this one. Okay, here's follow zone again. This time we're just going to motion. Everybody's reaching. All right. Play side tackle doesn't get a reach, but he gets good horizontal displacement. Open gap for the right guard there. Step clear. Look how it's flat. Clearing that stunt. No stunt. Work up to your backer. Boom. 23. Got him. Center. Got a guy head up. I don't know if he's going to cross my face to the play side or go backside. If he goes backside, I'll try and get a punch on him if I can because my gap is now open. He's really stunting, so I got nothing to do. Clear, climb, up to the backer. Good. It's close. There's a guy head up to my partner play side. I'm going to go reach that guy. Now that guy makes it easier to me. Great. Hook him. Backside tackles trying to work through the trash up to the backside backer. Tight end does a nice job of reaching and hooking his guy. For the tailback perspective, the take it is there. The B gap is wide open, so he should just run right through it. Split zone, right? So now we're going to swipe and block that backside C gap defender with the tight end. Everything from an offensive line perspective is the same. Trying to reach with 69. Nope, that guy's fighting hard. He doesn't want to be reached. Fine, push him out. Same thing kind of like the last play for the guard. He's center. Got a guy in the one, got a shade and a one tech. Perfect. Here we go. You can, we mess with our alignment with our tailbacks. This is the same side handoff, so same split zone, but we're going to give it on the same side as the zone. That helps us with our sidecar tendencies. Don't really reach at tackle. That guy tries to run around us. It's fine. Push him upfield. Guard 65's got nobody there. Nobody crosses. Climb up to your backer. Center would have loved him to work off that a little bit. Kind of the zero here, kind of grabs a hold of the center, doesn't let him go, but the guard's trying to work his reach. This is a good example. Give yourself a nice little hole down the middle there. Bypass zone. Now we're going to swipe across, but instead of kicking out 40 here, or 44, the end man in the line of scrimmage, we're going to bypass him. Look out to the next guy. things that you guys, I'm sure, are very familiar with. But the nice thing is we can do all these different kinds of zones without changing anything for the offensive line, right? They know what their rule is. I'm trying to reach and hook the guy that's threatening my gap. If I can, awesome. We're going to run right through there like you see here with the guard hook in 53. Boom, hook. There's the tailback through the hole. If he would not have gotten that hook and 53 would have fought him wide, he would have pushed him horizontally, and the tailback would have put his foot in the ground and try and hit the A gap. From the same side and try and reach and hook. You got your zones.
No, Coach, I think we're about on pace. I mean, I have a couple we're done, but you got about 5 more minutes, Coach.
Perfect. Let's jump into duo then. Okay. So duo for us is when we force our guys to combo, right? So this is why it's 2 different plays for me. Combo and not have to read it and figure out if they're comboing or by themselves, we call duo. If we just want to zone and get movement horizontally, we call zone. So they're 2 separate plays for us. You get all the different kind of variation, a lot of the same things. For right now, they use their same rules. When they get up to the line, they're going to check their side gap. If it's open, okay, we're starting with play side tackle. If it's open, then he knows he can combo back with the play side guard. And when we're talking play side, so most people call duo, they would call this duo right? We would call this duo left, okay? So play side, when I say play side tackle, I'm talking about this guy. When I say backside tackle, I'm talking about this guy. We call it opposite of how most people call it. So you guys don't get confused on that. Okay, so play side open, make a here call, combo back with a guard. If it's closed, you're going to base block that guy. Play side guard. If he's got his gap open, then he's going to make a hearing. I don't need your help. I'm comboing with the other guard. Then he's just going to climb immediately to the first backer in the box. Play side again, and he's trying to find the A-gap defender. Wherever he is, he's going to either be to his left, his right, or head up with him. He's comboing that guy no matter what. Backside guard, if his gap is open, he's going to combo back with the tackle. If his gap is closed, he's going to combo forward with the center. If he gets a fan call from the tackle, then it overrides him comboing forward with the center. I'll show you that on a picture here. And then the backside tackle, same thing. If he's open, he's comboing back with the tight end. If it's closed, then he is comboing forward with the guard. Okay, tight end has all the same responsibilities he did as a zone player, except his base rule would be to reach, and he never expects help. If he gets a here call from the tackle, it's a bonus, but he's expecting to do it all by himself, and then his other stuff. Get that same alignment that we had last time, but now we're going to give a here call and combo back with the center. Center's A-gap guy is there. There's my combo, backer number 1. Play side guard or backside guard. Gap is open. So I know I'm going to combo back with my tackle. Gap is closed up to backer number 2. Tight end by himself. Combo block for us, we try and get shoulder to shoulder, work that thing vertical, and get to that second level defender. Okay? If we're coming from the outside in, going to the right here like on top, we're expecting and hoping that inside guy is going to be the one that climbs off, as you can see here. If that backer does some kind of gap exchange, he's going to bump off his buddy. For our tailbacks, we have take it, which would be A gap for them, or cut it. We don't have a stick it in this because we're already eliminated that factor. The actual play from the drawing that we looked at, so we know where our combos are supposed to be. Sorry, I threw my button. Know where our combos are supposed to be. 75 is going to be solo. We got a combo with the guard and center up to backer number 1. Backside guard, backside tackle, comboing up to backer number 2. Tight end trying to cut off and reach. Okay. So assignment-wise, great. Now, execution-wise and ability-wise, not awesome. All right, 51 gets thrown like a rag doll. 34 is having a hard time reaching this guy. But still hits downhill nice. Gets us vertical. Still a gain of 5 or 6 yards here. didn't have any tight ends healthy in this game. So we're trying to get that reach block without having him reach. We're trying to get him to kind of quasi dig that guy out. But you see the combos. Solo by 55, combo by 71 and 52, the guard and center. They're going to work up the backer number 1. 71 gets up the backer number 1. That's great. Okay. Kind of fights down. This one does kind of, which again, the tailbacks you have to let the tailbacks use their ability. Love for him to get vertical. We don't get much push against this team. This is a huge 8A school in our conference that always has way better players than us. So we'll take any kind of gaps that we can get on that. Okay, here's 12 personnel. We've got 2 tight ends in the game. So the tight end to the left, he's just like tackle rules. He's gonna block out on a solo. Means I get a guard tackle combo up to backer 1. Center backside guard combo up to backer number 2.
Hear me, Coach?
Yep, I got you.
Okay, I want to get 2 questions that I got in before we kind of get time here.
Sounds good.
First one, and I don't think I heard you mention it, and near to the comment, you might have at some point, as I was tweeting and all that other stuff to promote. Do you start with inside zone and then go duo? Have you tried giving on the ears, flipping the order that you install them? What is kind of your install process with the 2?
Yeah, we always start with zone. So we always start our install with zone. It allows us to teach the open and close gap rules. It helps our tailbacks learn their aiming points and their cuts and their breaks. It helps our quarterbacks learn reading C gap and D gap defenders, and it teaches our tight ends all the different blocks that they might have. So we always start with zone as the beginning.
Okay.
I'm in thinking they have to go backwards in zone. So if we teach them always to go forward and then tell them it's in our duo stuff, it's much easier and you don't have to break as many habits.
Okay. And then you kind of showed, really for both, like all the different tags and little adjustments for both. How much, and you don't need to give me the exact verbiage, but how much of that verbiage you try to make sure carries over between the zone? Like, obviously there's some similarities in some of the lead and some of the split stuff as you kind of show.
Right.
How much is the verbiage for those like tags the same, or are those different as well?
Yeah, so my normal, when I've done this talk in the past, I have a little bit more of an intro before we get into the film, but I know we're a little bit limited with time here in this format. One of the biggest things with our tags is our tags never talk to the offensive line, right? So the offensive line is going to get the play call, right? They're going to get duo, and they're like, so they're the ones that adjust off of it. Now, we don't tag the swipe and the lead and that kind of stuff. That's built into the play call for them. So the way we have our play calls organized, our offensive line knows, hey, if I get a call that's in this family, I'm just running zone. And all the different calls in that family, without giving away what the calls are, the tight end knows, okay, well, let's say we're using pasta. Tight end knows spaghetti, I'm going back and I'm swiping. If it's lasagna, I know I'm leading, right? And to the offensive line, they know if it's pasta, it's all zone, right? They just know that's how we install that.